Okay, we're back to the watch I'm working on. And you see that lovely black stuff on my thumb? That's silver testing compound, and it will not come off. I'm going to have to grow my nail out. And yes, my nail is not made out of silver. I figured that out. Okay. This movement, you can see it looks to be in great shape. There's no real damage or anything. But since it's just a generic watch, and I think at this point the case is more valuable than the movement is, that I've decided to remove it. Now, what do you do with all this? Okay, here's the watch parts. This is called the bow. This is the crown, and of course you know what the case is. You have a cover, you have a movement inside, and you have things called jewels. Jewels are simply where they would use a small ruby with a drilled hole in the middle, because rubies had less friction and they would allow the watch dials and gears to move smoothly over a long period of time. With very little wear, a ruby will be much smoother. Modern watches aren't made the same way as they used to in the antique ones. So that's what a jeweled movement, or the number of jewels, refers to. It's the small little rubies used as, for the gears to move around in a nice smooth fashion. Okay. This, of course, you know the watch hands and the watch dial. It's also known as a watch face. This has a seconds as well as minutes and hours, and even has you can see the nice dial. There's lots of parts to a watch that would be important for us to keep. Okay. Now, the first thing is to open the watch. Then you have all this. Where do you start? Well, in order for this movement to come out of this watch, this crown has to come off. Okay. And how do you get that to come off? You see, what you're trying to do is not every watch is exactly the same. It is the screw closest to the crown that you need to unscrew. It's going to be hard to unscrew. It's the screw closest to the crown that's more than likely going to be the one to unscrew to get that crown off. For example, that large watch, it's easy to tell. This one is not so easy. It's going to be this screw right here. See, that's the closest one to this crown, okay? You would think it might be that one, but it's probably this one. It's often the tiniest one, okay? And then on where's my other watch? Oh, here it is. On the smallest one, let's see. As you can see, that's going to be a challenge. It could be either one. My guess it's this one here, that this is the crown watch. This is the one to unscrew to remove this crown, because there is a stem that goes from the crown down into the watch, and that there's no way that movement's going to come out until you get that stem out. Okay, back to the larger watch. Let's see if we can get this unscrewed. Okay, you can see my screwdriver is a little bit big, but I can just barely wedge that in there and it will slip. And